Hey, I'm Jerry D. Welcome to Lunch in the Back 40. This is episode 35. Thanks for joining us today. Yeah, we have another superb guest joining us on the program. It's going to be fun. Hey, Blissfest is a member organization, and this Sunday, November 21st, from 3 to 4:30 is the annual general membership meeting. It's going to be conducted via Zoom. The election for the open spots on the Blissfest Board of Directors will be taking place. You can find all of the information on the meeting, how to register for it via Zoom, and also some information about the candidates on our website, and also how to vote there on blissfest.org. Just go over there and join us for our general membership meeting. If you're not a member, why not? Become a member. Last week, we mentioned the birthday of Joni Mitchell, but we did not mention the birthday of the incredible 10-time Grammy winner, Bonnie Lynn Raitt, who celebrated birthday 72 on November 78th. Bonnie, well known for incorporating elements of blues, rock, folk, and country. This week, we pay tribute to Canadian singer-songwriter Gordon Meredith Lightfoot, who celebrated birthday 83 on November 17th. Gordon Lightfoot, often referred to as Canada's greatest songwriter, and is known as a folk rock legend. He's credited with helping define the folk pop sounds of the 60s and 70s. Now, Gordon's been honored with numerous awards throughout the years, and we all know his song about the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald, which has a special place in our area. Did you know that he also wrote a song about the 1967 Detroit riots called Black Day in July? Yeah, happy birthday, Gordon Lightfoot. Okay, now I'm going to put this together. Strong Woman Blues, Canadian singer-songwriter, multi-award winner. It pretty much describes our guest today, Suzie Vinnick. See what I did there? I tied that all in. I got that all in there. Suzie performs solo and also with a variety of other projects, including Betty and the Bobs, the Marigolds. That's with Gwen Swick and Caitlin Hanford, and the Vinnick Shepherd Hart with Kim Shepherd and Alana Hart. Plus, she does a dual thing every now and then with Rick Fiennes. She's a 6-time winner of the Maple Blues Award for Best Female Vocalist, 2-time Maple Blues Award for Best Songwriter, nominated for multiple Juno Awards and many others. She's also a Blissfest alumnus. Yeah, she's originally from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and now in the Niagara region of Ontario. Welcome to Suzie Vinnick to Lunch in the Back 40. Hi, Suzie. How you doing?
Hi, Jerry. I'm great. Thanks.
Did we seem to cover all that?
Yeah, that's amazing. You got lots there.
Did you ever go, did I do all that?
Well, it's funny. I'm like feeling my age. I don't want to say like I'm like an old woman or anything, but I was going through some papers in a box the other day and just went, oh my goodness, I've done a lot. So that's why I have so much stuff in here. I have to organize.
Well, I recorded a podcast with you back in 2018, I think it was. And that's when your album Shake the Love Around was just coming out.
Right.
I think we were at Folk Alliance in maybe Kansas City. I don't know. Was that your last full-length recording?
Yeah. And I got a grant. We're so lucky in Canada. We get some really great support. And so I actually got 3 grants to do a new album. So I will have something new middle of next year in 20.
Well, and if I remember correct, your husband remodeled an old church, giving you a fantastic music room, and that's where you are today?
That is where I am. Yeah, we bought this. It's 9 years ago this month, actually. And we're in an old 1880s brick church. I can't see it with the video, but we've got the windows are 9 feet tall and 3 feet wide, and the room is full of music gear. So
Perfect.
That's good. What more can you ask for as a musician, right?
You were originally from Saskatchewan?
Saskatoon, yeah.
Saskatoon. Yep. So, hockey or music?
Hockey
Is that
or
what
music?
it came down to? Yeah.
It was music.
Yeah.
Music was it for sure.
How did you get started?
I have an older brother who is a photojournalist out in Vancouver. He's actually the Vancouver Canucks photographer. But he took guitars. He's about 7, took guitar lessons. And as a little kid, I saw these possibilities, seeing him play guitar. And then in my grade 3 teacher played guitar and sang. And I just thought, and I was a terrible Ukrainian dancer. I knew I wouldn't have a career as a Ukrainian dancer, even though, I'm a good Ukrainian girl, but not a good Ukrainian dancer. So anyways, when I was a little kid, I just said to Mom, "Can I take guitar lessons?" And there was one kicking around, so I got my brother's old guitar and then broke it by accident. It fell and broke its neck, and then got another guitar, and just music. It just kind of took like just a fish to water. My guitar teacher taught me for a year. Her name was Lynn McKinnon. I'd love to see her again or be able to say hi to her even. And after a year, she's like, "I have nothing else to teach you, so you'll have to find another teacher." Anyways, I just loved it. And then all through school, I was involved in school band and picked up saxophone, and then in high school picked up electric bass. And yeah, it was just something that music was just something that made me really happy. And so it's something I've been doing since I was a little kid.
Well, you got on stage at a rather young age, working in a restaurant or playing at a restaurant, bar, open mic, or how'd that work?
Oh, so what happened? So there's a bar in Saskatoon called Buds on Broadway, and I used to go to a different bar and jam with my friends Tim and Keith, and then the place burnt down. So some say financial combustion. Anyway, and so we needed to find another place to go and jam, and this blues bar, and I didn't really know what blues was. Was having an open stage every Saturday from 3 to 7, Buds on Broadway. And so we started going to that, and I'd get up, and yeah, it just kind of became my every Saturday thing, because in the daytime it was a restaurant. So kids who were underage, under the drinking age, could come in and listen. So it was really quite special, like, because people would bring their little ones, like my friend Dan brought his 3-year-old daughter, and she used to get up and sing Mercury Blues. You can imagine that. And
Wow.
And eventually I ended up helping to run the jam with my friend Curtis, and got a lot of time in. I probably put in a good chunk of those 10,000 hours as a bass player when there was no other bassist, playing those 4 hours. And in high school I played in music, and so all that time put in, and the connections I'd make, and I didn't sort of have it that I'm going to be a musician when I grow up. It just was, I did it because I loved it. I loved how it made me feel, and opportunities came up to make a bit of money. And it's like, this is cool. And getting to play for people. And eventually I moved to Ontario. I met a musician who was briefly living in Saskatoon. And then he moved back to Ontario, and we kept in touch, and he said, "Hey, I've got work all summer if you want to come out and play bass with the blues trio." So I did. So I moved to Ottawa, which is the capital of Canada, and ended up staying out in Ontario. So I've been out here ever since. I was about 21.
That's just a couple of years then.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that wasn't long ago at all. So the guitar came first, then the bass. You're known for both.
Well, yeah, I think probably more recently guitar, but bass. I've been having fun with the bass. One of my musical heroes that I got to actually meet and hear at Buds on Broadway is a lady named Mcelwain. I don't know if you guys ever had her play Blissfest or not, or if you're familiar with her, but you don't know her, Jerry?
Not off. No, I the name doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, wow, okay.
I know. I'm going to put it on the list here, but that I need to check out.
She passed away, sadly. We lost her earlier this year, but she was originally from Nashville, adopted by missionary parents, and grew up in Japan, and came back to the States. And I think she was in Georgia for a while, played in a band there, and then lived in New York City and hung out with the likes of like Richie Havens and Odetta. I always get mixed up. I have a friend named Odessa Settles, Odetta, I think, yeah. And then she had a band for a while, and she had this guitar player with her named Jimi Hendrix.
Oh.
So Ellen was really an amazing musician, vocalist, killer slide guitar player. There's nobody that sounded like her. And so she was a big influence for me. Why did I reference her? Oh, because of the bass. I've been doing a song that I ended up getting to play with her with the Toronto Women's Blues Review when I moved to Toronto. And so I cover her cover of Danger Zone. It was written by Percy Mayfield. So,
who were some of the ones when you were growing up? What was some of the music that you were listening to that kind of influenced you throughout the time? I mean, when you were young.
Yeah, so it's all
You are young, but you know,
all over the map. I mean, but so I had an older brother, so he had quite a decent record collection, and so he handed me down like a Led Zeppelin 4 copy of Led Zeppelin 4, and I loved hard rock like Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne, and then later in my teens got into kind of more singer-songwriters like John Hyatt, Sean Colvin. Ricky Lee Jones is a huge favorite of mine. And Joni Mitchell a bit. She's probably more in my early 20s when I dove into her music a bit more. And so there's a few anyways. And blues artists, Stevie Ray Vaughan, actually, I should mention him too, because he was one of the first blues guitar players that I heard. And I heard him through the Jennifer Warren's famous Blue Raincoat album, and David Bowie used him as well on some tracks. And his sound and his intensity of his playing really drew me in. So I kind of pursued it. So that was kind of my beginnings of like blues. And then of course playing every Saturday at the blues bar. Cause I didn't really know it. I didn't even think could sing blues, cause it just seemed so complicated and so improvisational. And anyway, and here I am.
Can you kick us off with a tune?
Sure.
All right, let's do that.
I'll do a little song. This is called All I Want to Do Is Have a Whole Lot of Fun. All I want to do, all I want to do, all I want to do is have a whole lot of fun with you. All I want to do, all I want to do, all I want to do is have a whole lot of fun with you. I'm tired of these troubles waking me at night, worries and hurries, nothing feeling right, gotta break this off, make it on a better times. All I want, all I want, all I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. Well, there's bad news blaring on the TV, bills in a pile staring back at me. Buddy's in his car, busy raging on his horn, and all I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, yeah, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. Oh, let's go out and get wild, leave all this behind. Our feet won't touch the ground as we shake the love around. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, yeah, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. All I wanna do, all I wanna do, yeah, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. Oh, all I wanna do, all I wanna do, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. All I wanna do, yeah, all I wanna do is have a whole lot of fun with you. With you.
Yes. That's Suzie Vinnick Joining me today on Lunch in the Back 40, SuzieVinnick.com is her website. That's Suzie. As Suzie Vinnick. You can follow her on Facebook and all of the socials. And of course, you can find Suzie's music on your favorite streaming platforms. But the best way to do it is to go to the music and merch section of her website. Support our artists. That's right. It's the best place to get it. And boy, that was from your album 2018, Shake the Love Around?
Yeah, that's from Shake the Love Around.
How did the title get there? Shake the Love Around. I remember you told me what that meant, or there's a meaning behind Shake Your Love Around. How did you come up with that?
So there's a venue in southern Saskatchewan called the Happy Nun, and I had played there a bunch of times, and they used to have a little blues festival even too, and the town has 33 people. But people would come from 2 hours away to come check out the music that was happening there. It's a pretty special place run by a couple of really special folks. It's since changed ownership, but Shannon and Dawn were the original owners and the folks that got it started. And you'd play the venue, and then you'd walk over to the old rectory that they had renovated and stay there because it was a B&B as well. And they made incredible meals, and you'd sit at the table, and everyone would hold hands, and someone would say grace, and then at the end of grace they'd say shake the love around, and so everyone would shake the hands, and it was just a really sweet tradition, and kind of Burt Bacharach would say the world needs is love, sweet love. Shake it around and
shake the love around.
Get it all over everybody.
I like that. And the Happy Nun. What a great name for a venue.
Yeah, well, at the town, this town Forget was on the rail line, I guess. So Winnipeg is about 6 hours from it, I think, and it's a big city. But Forget is like a blip, right? But the rail line went through it, and in the town was an old school, and so the kids from the area used to go to school in the town. So it was like a ton of nuns were in town, and yeah, it's pretty neat little spot. So I haven't been there in a few years, but I hope to get back and play.
I mentioned Bonnie Raitt at the beginning of the program, and a lot of people, for some reason, don't think of blues as a woman's genre. But, the list is strong of influential women in the blues. And, the list is long, from Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, Billie Holiday, Big Mama Thornton, Memphis Minnie, Ruth Brown. They all provided a strong foundation to the genre and also modern music. And I'd probably include like Janis Joplin and Aretha Franklin to that list too. Yeah. Who are some of the blues artists that really influenced you throughout the years as far as the women?
So as a teen, like when I was playing at Bud's, because I wasn't that familiar with blues, the manager there, who's a sweetheart, said you should go to the library and just do a little research there and to try to learn about some of the vocalists and players that are out there. So he gave me a few names to try to find, and so I found an Alberta Hunter album. I found an old Bonnie Raitt one. I found Coco Taylor. And Coco was actually the artist that resonated the most with me of the three at that time. And I think it's because, as I mentioned earlier, I was listening to like hard rock then, like Judas Priest and Ozzy Osbourne, and it was Coco's was really funky. The album that I picked up, and big voice and real belter, and it just really resonated with me. So Coco Taylor was probably one of my bigger influences, just kind of when I got started. And then I think Bonnie put out a greatest hits album, and then that sort of became kind of wheedled its way in to my ears. And so Bonnie, Coco, and like female, male, like Stevie Ray Vaughan is in there, and he really resonated with me. So those are a couple. And then, a Big Mama Thornton, definitely, and just hearing their stories. Even Elizabeth Cotten, who I don't think she ever considered herself a blues artist. She considered herself more folk, but definitely she's got some blues going on with her playing, like kind of country style and cool stories. So
yeah. Well, you mentioned Odetta earlier too.
Yeah, I got to open for her at Bud's, in Toronto, at Hughes Room. Sorry.
Wow. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a memory.
Yeah.
How often do you sit down to write music?
Not as often as I should, I guess, or should, or it's funny, like with COVID, you'd think all this time you'd sit and write, and I really didn't write. I mean, I did the streaming show. I do it, and I still do. Every Wednesday night, I do a little streaming show from 7 to 9 on a site called streetjelly.com. And so I've been learning new songs these last couple years to do on the show. So where I'm not creating as much new stuff though with the new album, I'm digging in a little bit more now. But yeah, so it sort of depends on what's going on. New record might put the fire under my butt.
Well, it seems like a lot of the musicians that I've spoken with, when we talk about what's happened in the last 20 months or so, a lot of them mention they kind of just, like, they all say the same thing. You would think, it'd be a great time to write and everything else, but some mentioned, it just, they had writer's block, and with everything going on, they didn't have it. And it took a little bit to shake it.
Yeah, I think it's just with all the uncertainty, it's challenging, being an independent artist, and like you go to the conferences and you try to make connections, and then if anyone is like, well, anyways, I can only speak for myself, but there's definite insecurities that weave their way through, and sometimes it's hard to follow up and say, "Hi, I'm Suzie. I met you at this conference. Can you hire me?" I'd love to play your festival or whatever. And then there's a few emails that go back and forth, and it might take a couple years, and then you get a booking, and then to have a whole summer of that be wiped out because of the virus it's hard, hard on the old soul and that. So I can understand. We work hard. We all work hard. I mean, yeah. Artists and everybody, but so it sort of does make sense. Though I did see some artists who were quite prolific. My friend John Ward Hannum was doing fun videos and writing some great stuff. So I don't know.
I just saw a thing with Todd Snyder, and he said, I did an album and I played everything because you couldn't get anybody together.
Right.
Which was quite interesting. But well, he said, I learned to play a lot of instruments.
Yeah. Well, and I understand. I did a demos because I got the grants, and I needed to do a couple of demos for them. So I ended up setting up to record here in the church and doing my vocals and acoustic guitar and sending them to the producer who did produced the demos for them, and they got sent, like, it was all done on the interwebs, which was pretty cool. Yeah. Just to be able to produce music here in the church and send it out and have it come back all woven together and sounding, I thought, was really beautiful, and it worked well enough to get me some grants. So anyway, yeah.
When you write, what comes first, music or lyrics?
Music comes easier. I'm more music oriented than I am word oriented. I'll get lines and sometimes work to that, but it's not really a set thing as far as which comes first, Jerry. It sort of varies, and I think most musicians say that too. There may be some that I'll get a line and I'll get a vibe, but sometimes you'll be just mucking around. Do you play as well? I forget.
No, I do not.
You do not. Okay, all good. But you still can.
Well, I play at. How about that? I play at, and I like to follow, but I had the opportunity when I was young, and I just didn't have the practice thing. Too many things. I don't know. Maybe it's ADHD.
Are you a hockey player?
I was a hockey player. Yes, I was. That was what I did, and that was fine for me. I loved to play hockey, and that was my thing. But
you still play?
No, I gave it up a few years back. There just wasn't as many opportunities. After I finished, I did the old guys league, and I remember somebody said, "Wow, you lost a few steps from when I remember you," and I said, "Yeah, I've lost a few more steps since then." So, I'd still like to put on the skates and go out and, do it. But, it's like, the insurance has to be better.
Oh, wow.
You do.
Still get the skates on. It's something that I never played, but my brother, I let my brother take care of that because he shoots all the games out in Vancouver and goes on the road with the guys sometimes. So it's just kind of a cool job.
What a cool job that would be.
Yeah.
Real quick, what piece of advice do you have for a songwriter who's just getting started? Do you ever get asked, what can I do, or how can I do this better?
I guess it's just getting out there and doing. I don't know. Like I as a songwriter, what to do? I guess the thing to do is to study the works of your favorite writers and see what it is that resonates about their work with you. See what your friends are listening to, and maybe check that out as well. And just getting out there and playing your own stuff at open stages, just to
get out and do it.
Yeah, getting out and doing it, and even something as simple as doing a little demo on your phone on a voice, just your voice memo, and being able to sit and listen back to it, and because it gives you some perspective too. That's something that I find is helpful, and even in watching videos of yourself, which is something that I have a really hard time doing still. I've been at this a long time, and I know it's really important. But anyways, yeah. So checking out what your favorite writers are writing about and what it is about their stuff that resonates with you, checking out what your friends like, and getting out playing and sitting and listening back to the songs that you write, and maybe go, why, is there something I can improve here? What is it about I love about my song? I don't know.
Well, let's get you to do another tune.
Sure.
All right.
I'm going to do a song. I noticed John Gorka was on. Was that last week, Jerry?
Couple weeks back.
Yeah. John, I saw John Gorka was on, and so I'm going to do a song that Rick Fiennes and I wrote together. And Rick and I released an album back in 2006 called Nothing Halfway, and we recorded a John Gorka song on that. But I'm going to do the song that Rick and I wrote, but it just made me think of John when I saw that he'd been on. So this is called How'd You Know I Missed You? And actually, speaking of my brother, I'd seen one of his pictures. He's a sports photographer, but he also does other stuff. And it was a shot of a canola field. It was beautiful. It was in the national paper, the Globe and Mail. And I wrote him a note and said, hey, I saw your picture. It was gorgeous. Hope you're doing well. And he wrote me back like seconds later almost. And he said, hey, I was just listening to your record. How'd you know I missed you? And I thought that was really sweet. And I also thought, how'd you know I missed you? That could make a nice song. So I Googled it to make sure there wasn't a song out there already. There wasn't. So Rick and I sat down and, Rick actually started the song. I gave him the title and he went, bam, and he came up with the music and I helped him finish it up. So here's How'd You Know I Missed You. How'd you know I missed you, my love, my darling, at this particular time? How'd you know I missed you, baby? Did you read my mind? Did you hear a sigh in the evening breeze? Or is it chance, that's all? How'd you know I missed you, baby? What made you think to call? Alone I lay awake and I thought of your sweet face. Thought of the joy that you bring me. Well, I stared at the phone and I daydreamed, wondering will you ring me? As I lay there, my heart felt so happy. I pictured you in your home. I so hope that you'd be there when I reached out and I dialed the phone. Oh, how'd you know I missed you? I was thinking of you at this particular time. I'm so happy you're mine. Did you hear a sigh? I thought I heard a sigh. Well, how'd you know I missed you?
Suzie Vinnick. Yeah, boy. Yeah. I love it. I love it. I could listen to you play. Oh, boy. Suzie Vinnick joining us on Lunch in the Back 40 today. Yeah, follow Suzie Vinnick on Facebook and all the socials. SuzieVinnick.com is where you'll find all about Suzie, including some upcoming shows. And, of course, her music and merchandise. All of her album catalog is there. And some other fine merch, T-shirts and such, including masks if you need that. A lot of shows requiring that now still. The holidays are coming, so support our musicians by giving the gift of music. Yes. You name your guitars, correct? I think Leslie Rose, Mabel, and maybe you're picking up Kermit there. Is that Kermit your bass?
Kermit, yeah. Kermit
the frog here.
The green bass. Leslie Rose and Mabel, that's Rose made out of rosewood, I think I heard.
Yeah, you got it. It's,
and
in
Mabel.
Leslie, Arkansas. I just gotten the guitar. I got a custom built guitar, and one of the first gigs I played was in Leslie, Arkansas, and I said I hadn't named it, and because I think someone was asking about Mabel, which is my other guitar that I have used a bunch. Was my main guitar for 13 years. Anyways, and they said, well, you should name it Leslie. So Leslie, Arkansas, Leslie Rose.
Yeah, and Rose after the rosewood.
You betcha. Yeah.
Yep. You have some special luthiers that do work for you, or that do your guitars, correct?
Well, I played a Larrivee parlor for 13 years. That was Mabel, and still is Mabel. Just it's just I don't take her out on the road, and we became my partner James and I became friends with a luthier named Joe Yanizello, and Joe builds acoustic guitars, electric guitars, dobros, all sorts of incredible instruments. And so I commissioned him to build me an acoustic. So it's a little bit bigger than the parlor. It's I think an 01. I forget the size. 00. James, my partner, would know. I'm not a technical person. I'm just try to play the instrument. So
yeah.
Anyway, so Joe built me Leslie Rose, and it's pretty sweet little instrument. And
yeah.
He worked with a guy that does inlay work. So this logo, which I'll try to put up to the camera. Let's see, it's not going to be clear because it's a little out of focus. Anyways, this piece here is Joe's name. And it's 80 pieces of mother of pearl inlay. And then back in 2011, I did a triathlon, and I finished it, and I was just happy. So this is actually, can't really see very well, but it's a turtle. It's also, so it was designed by the inlay artist Mark Kett, and then Joe built me, it's his Mariposa model, but I highly recommend checking out his instruments. He's an incredible luthier, beautiful detail, and it's art.
Yes.
I jokingly call it guitar porn, which sort of sounds terrible, but if people love guitars or just love beautiful things, it's his website is yanizello.com.
Now, does Mabel get jealous when Leslie goes out on the road?
No, it's
no. Okay.
Mabel just gets to hang out at home, and I do take Mabel out once in a while. But Leslie Rose has become my main instrument. I just found that the parlor, it's pretty honky sounding. It's like maple, and I just found I think I need a different pickup for it. I found some shows I just wasn't as happy with the sound, so. I'd probably have to look at a different pickup for it too.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously we've been through some strange times in the last, we talked about that. When was the last time you spent this much time at home?
Probably when I was a kid. I've been coming and going, and I mean, it's been kind of nice being isolated at home here. I mean, and actually I was kind of in some ways used to it, living in the country. I don't see as many people, and so it wasn't that different in that regard. Like when the pandemic set in, and just going to town and buying groceries and that, and wearing masks, that sort of is where things got weird. But it's been nice, like I can go for walks up the road and not worry about running into anybody, and
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and staying safe, especially in the initial days when they didn't know what was going on exactly. And so, and it's, just fresh air. And I lived in Toronto for 15 years before we moved out here, and I do miss things. I miss like more of my tribe, my musical tribe is in the city and that. So there's a little bit of a loneliness maybe that happens living out here, but the cats help. we were all talking about our pets when we were doing our sound check. So
Yes.
that was really fun.
You mentioned the grants that you got, and Canada does a wonderful job supporting artists. What are some of the programs that help Canadian artists, and how important was that for you during the pandemic?
Well, yeah, I received a grant through the Ontario Arts Council it was a kind of a COVID respite grant. So many people were taking up doing streaming shows and that, but and so I was able to. I applied and received a grant to upgrade my gear, which was wonderful. So I got a new computer, a couple grand for a new computer and a few other things, and then it also. Part of the grant was to go towards some training, so learning how to use the gear. So like I'm on OBS right now with this, and I didn't know how to do that before. No clue what it was, in fact. So that sort of thing. So that was a gift. It's not typical for the Ontario Arts Council to support actual physical gear, but just given the circumstances with the pandemic and how important it is to be able to stream till we could get out and do live shows, they felt it was important. So that was cool. And then for the record, I applied to Canada Council, which is like a national organization, Ontario Arts Councils for our province of Ontario. And then I got Factor, which is also a national album or support body. So they'll all support doing showcasing and touring and records, doing so anyway, it's amazing, and I'm very grateful. Have enabled me to tour. They've enabled me to come and do showcases. Like I came up to Farm and got to meet some I don't know if I had already knew Jim Gillespie, but he was probably at Farm, and anyway, it's great.
Well, let's get you to do one more tune.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So I put on Kermit, and Kermit is also a custom made instrument. It's a designer, Dingwall designer basses, and it was built in Saskatchewan. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the, it's a fan fretted instrument as well. So you see the frets, it looks kind of weird. And this is a song called Danger Zone. I'm going to do the one that I learned from Ellen Mcelwain, and I got to play with her on bass. And so here we go. Sad and lonely all the time, just because I got myself a worried mind. The world is in an uproar, danger zone is everywhere, it's everywhere. Oh, read your paper and you will see exactly what's bad worrying me. I said the world is in an uproar, danger zone is everywhere, it's everywhere. My love for the world work our ways. For the world is a part of me. Oh, that's why I'm afraid of the progress that's been made, yeah, toward eternity. Read your paper and you will see exactly what's been worrying me. I said the world is in an uproar. Danger zone is everywhere. It's everywhere. I said the world is in an uproar. Danger zone is everywhere. Hey, it's everywhere.
Yes, Suzie Vinnick doing that tune. Oh, so nice, so nice. I was just looking up Ellen McElwain while you were playing that song. Yep. I was just punched it in and looked it up and found out all about her. I have that on my list now. Suzie Vinnick, our guest today on Lunch in the Back 40. I'm Jerry D. Suzie Vinnick, Facebook page, SuzieVinnick.com on the interwebs, plus all the other socials and favorite streaming services. Music and merch section of Suzie's website is where you can buy her albums, shirts, and all that stuff. The holidays are coming. Just saying, that is coming. So you did perform at Blissfest in 2018. Any special memory of that festival?
Oh, it was just, God, the whole time it was just amazing. I mean, just sitting and listening to the other musicians. There's too many to talk about. There was some guy backstage that was doing like climbing the tree, and I'm trying to think of my friend's band. My friend's calypso band was on stage, and I was sitting with Robin.
Kobe.
Kobotown.
Kobotown.
And they were playing. And I was sitting with Robin and Ann in the back near the food tents and that, and we were sitting and listening to music and connecting. And I just love the fact that we drove, and it just seemed like there was nothing around, and then all of a sudden you get there and there's this whole universe. It's just tucked away and beautiful. And yeah, I connecting with the Fitzgeralds and playing, of course, tucked away in the woods, and it was great. It was just
we had some great Canadian content that year.
Bruce
we sure
Coburn
did.
Was there too.
Bruce and
Bruce was really nice.
My Son the Hurricane just blew everybody away.
They were amazing. Yeah, that's right.
Suzie and we had quite a bit. You're out playing live again. In fact, you have a date tomorrow. I think you're playing with your project Betty and the Bobs.
Yeah.
That's from our friends at Mariposa. They're presenting that. What's with that project? That's a group of your friends getting together?
Yeah, I was invited to be part of the project. In 2001, one of the singers left, and so they asked me to come and join them. And so we do shows on and off over the years, mostly in Ontario. We haven't traveled with the band because there's 7 of us, so it's a big project to take on the road. But it's really cool because there's some really great players, and they all kind of come from different places. Like Wendell Ferguson is a kind of country guitar player, and also a comedian. I don't know if you've ever gotten to meet him, Jerry, but he's a hoot. And so he does a lot of parody songs and amazing instrumentals as well. And Catherine Wheatley's an acclaimed Ontario singer-songwriter. She's played all over Canada and the world. And Suzie Schlanger is part of a Cajun fiddle group called Swamperella, and then David Woodhead has toured with Don Ross and James Keelahan, and great bass player, multi-instrumentalist. So it's a real treat, the band, everyone in it. And Dave Matheson actually was with Moxie Fruvis. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Moxie Fruvis, but they were a vocal group from, I want to say, the 90s as well, but quite well. Anyway, so it's fun. And we do kind of songs that we wouldn't normally do on our own project. So there's like show tunes and stuff. It gets kind of silly and fun.
Sounds like fun.
It is.
Well, hopefully soon we're going to see you trekking through the states again when it's allowed. Boy, oh boy. Suzie, it's been so wonderful to have a chance to chat with you again today. But they're giving me that time thing, you know.
I get you. No, I know.
The
It's cool.
network is getting upset with me, but you know, okay.
But
I
thanks,
could
Jerry.
go for another hour or so talking to you. I just enjoy it. You are so easy to chat with, and wonderful music. It's always wonderful when I'm listening to my playlist and all of a sudden, you know, I hear one of your tunes on my playlist and I go, oh wow, Suzie Vinnick. I haven't listened to this in a while, and it just brings me. And then I kind of go back into it and dive back into your albums, and I enjoy that. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate Caroline reaching out and asking me to be to come if I could do the show with you. And I was like, yes, any chance to chat with Jerry is great. So
I don't know about that, but I'll take the chance to talk with you. Like you mentioned, John Gorka, and you know the people that I get to talk with. This is my favorite thing in the world right here. So.
I bet. It must be such a treat. Well, it's a
Yes,
treat for
it
us,
is.
too, to get to talk to you as well.
Well, I'm
look
Jerry
at that
D.
Blissfest swag, I was going to say as well, right? Man, look at you.
Yep.
Look at your shirt.
I got to have it. You know,
Hat.
yeah, we got the shirt going and the hat and, you know, a few other things. You got to push that merch, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm Jerry D. Thank you for checking out Lunch in the Back 40. I'd like to thank the Blissfest crew for taking care of the background stuff today. Sarah Reinfelder, Caroline Barlow, and Cindy McShirley. Live music is happening. Get out and enjoy. Be safe. Do it at your comfort level. Upcoming live shows include Steve Poltz at the Crooked Tree Arts Center Friday, December 3rd. A great lineup for the Winter Solstice celebration on December 21st. It includes Dominic and Rachel Davis. Tickets available for those shows at blissfest.org. Don't forget the Blissfest Music Organization General Membership Meeting is going to be online this Sunday, November 21st via Zoom. You can register for the Zoom link on the Blissfest website. Musician Mondays, that's the third Monday of the month. Virtual open mic is going to be coming back. And of course, we do this Lunch in the Back 40 thing every Friday at noon. Comments or guest suggestions, let us know. Information on all things Blissfest is on our Facebook page or the website. You can listen to Blissfest Radio through our website, or you can find us on the Live 365 app. Be sure to join us for Lunch in the Back 40 next Friday at noon when we are joined by the one and only Steve Poltz. Bring a seatbelt. You're going to want to strap in for that one. Who knows what Steve will give us? It's going to be a lot of fun, I'm sure. You can also find some previous Lunch in the Back 40 programs on the Blissfest News YouTube channel. That's something new. Suzie Vinnick, again, thank you for sharing your words and music with us today. Follow Suzie on Facebook or her website, SuzieVinnick.com. Support our artists with the gift of their music this holiday season. They really need you now more than ever. So thank you for checking us out today, and we're going to see you next Friday at noon. It's another Lunch in the Back 40. I'm Jerry D. Bliss on, everybody.